Hello! Happy late Easter. I hope you had a really good long weekend and any symptoms that you're having pass soon. Expeditiously, because to be honest, it's almost summer. And me personally, symptoms need to go away for that. I want to be shaking my nyash at Hyde Park on a yacht, even though I'm scared of the sea and I'm poor. So yeah, bun the symptoms. Manifesting. So, this Diddy mess. This man is a monster and he's done so much. I can't even. I'm still in shock. And of course the TL has been wild as events unfolded a couple of weeks ago, with the feds raiding his home and then more people coming out and talking about what he'd done to them. But some of you seem to only be focused on the fact that he is attracted to men. Disappointing. But let's talk about it. Welcome back to my channel. Firstly, you can see I've got a mic. I hope it works. This is the second time I've actually filmed this video. The first time, literally everything went wrong. I think the spirit of Diddy Diddler's trying to inhibit this. So let's just hope this actually works and gets up, because I will not film it a third time. But anyways, let me get back into it with a little recap for all of you. So obviously last year in November, singer Cassie sued Diddy, accusing him of a lot. So she originally met him in 2005 when she was 19 and he was 37. 37. No, I don't think you're hearing me. She was 19, he was 37, almost twice her age. Keep this in your brain. She sued him for sex trafficking, human trafficking, sexual battery, sexual assault, and loads more. His controlling behavior started basically when she met him when she was 19. She was just a kid. 19-year-olds might be watching this and be like, I'm an adult according to the law. I'm not. Trust me, you're not. You're not. I said this when I'm 19. I'm 28 now. You are not adults. You are kids. So the year after she met him, she got signed to him and his label. And he immediately exerted control over her whole life. We're talking her belongings, her home, even her medical records. Going along with this controlling behavior, he even targeted people who got close to her. When rumors surfaced that Kid Cudi was dating her in 2011, he blew up his car. He blew up the man's car because I don't have any words for this. I'm scared. His staff watched on as he abused Cassie, fearful of what would happen to them if they spoke up against him. And anytime she tried to hide from him, he sent his staff after her. And they basically just said, look, if you don't come back to Diddy right now, he's going to ruin your career. And now I do just want to say like a note, because a lot of people, ignorant people, say sometimes in these situations, oh, but she left and she chose to came back, so blah, blah, blah. Nah, shut it, zip. That is how coercive controlling behavior works, and it's often built up of these threats. And these threats include this person's safety, but also something that might be important to them, their independence, but it's manipulation. And they remind you that she was younger than him, and this behavior started from when she was 19, so often like it's grooming. So I just want to remind you, because a lot of coercive controlling relationships can be like that, where a person can get away and end up being pulled in back. The person really gets in their head. Now, across this period, she used a multitude of different drugs to cope, which resulted in big periods of memory loss and also suicidal ideation. Now, I am so proud of Cassie for doing this lawsuit. Obviously, I don't know her at all. I'd like listen to her music a lot when I was growing up, but regardless, like, I'm proud of anybody who can speak up and do this lawsuit, especially in the public eye. I really hope this could be like the first step in her healing journey if she hasn't started already. But I can appreciate that all of this years long trauma will take a lot of work, and this stuff can stay with you for a really long time, if not a lifetime. Now, a day after she filed the lawsuit, he settled out of court, which is something I also want to notice, like a day after, because some of these lawsuits, especially celebrity lawsuits, they take a while, and there's the denial, there's all this stuff, and then if they settle, it just does take a long while after their public image has taken a hit. But it took him one day. But anyways, this lawsuit did get the ball rolling. Now, a few other people came forward to speak afterwards, including a couple of women who had also faced this kind of behavior firsthand, and other people who had witnessed the behavior towards Cassie and had said, you know, that I saw this and I didn't feel, I was scared for my own safety, but I regret not speaking out. And honestly, when I first heard about this in November, it's really cynical of me, but I thought like this would be it. And I hate to say it, I've seen numerous suits brought against celebrities over the years, and kind of post that initial hoo-ha where people are like, oh yeah, this person's cancelled, and they kind of then deny it, and then maybe they'll settle it out of court a bit hidden after a few months. Sadly, they never truly seem to face like an adequate amount of justice. And really, I think something else is any fans who say they were like, this behavior was disgusting and they're not gonna follow them or listen to that art, after a few months just forget and fall back in line. So I thought this wouldn't be any different. But stuff really hit the fan last month when rapper, producer and more Lil Rod shared his story and also brought forth a lawsuit, and it had a lot in it. Now, in his lawsuit, he said that Diddy sexually harassed him, groped him, didn't pay him what he was owed for work on his album, and he also had to like live in with him for 6 months and record everything for some reason, and he also coerced him into taking drugs. In addition, he's saying Diddy also had secret cameras around his place that recorded everything, including a lot of his sexual activities, which all of this, the recording was non-consensual. They didn't know about it, and probably a lot of the sexual behaviors as well, half of them were non-consensual given the stuff I'm going to tell you about. He also made attempts to groom Lil Rod into being his like passed around sex boy, and one of the people he wanted to pass him to was Cuba Gooding Jr., who did also grope and sexually harass him. Now, the lawsuit is a hefty document. It is 70 pages and has a trigger warning at the front for graphical imagery. Now, of course, Twitter, that crazy cesspit, went wild over this one. As people combed through the legal document, finding more bits of information to share and make it trend more, and it spread, Diddy's 2 homes were searched by the police on big allegations of sex trafficking and sexual abuse. But of course on Twitter, it just became a bit of a meme. But across all of the speak about Diddy on Twitter, why was it so heavily weighted in just his sexuality and the fact he liked men, and barely anything on the fact that he harmed loads of women, a lot of them underage? I honestly can't comprehend how backwards, stupid and lacking empathy you have to be to read all of this, hear about all of this, see about all of this, and the only thing that comes out of your brain and your mouth is, Diddy gay, ill. There's been scores of tweets, mainly by you men, focusing solely on his sexuality, and then also what it means for Meek Mill, Usher, Lil Rod, and the rest of the men Diddy has harmed. It's just so fucked up. The other wild part is, it's a clear demonstration of not only your complete lack of empathy, but a complete lack of care on your part about black women. And I'd bet any money that the same men having a field day tweeting about these men's sexuality are the same ones who get up in arms and go to war anytime a black woman speaks about or calls out misogynoir amongst black men. Because God forbid they stand up and say they don't exist just to take your shit and they call you out. So many women have been harmed at the hands of Diddy and his empire of abuse, and barely any straight men are talking about it. And you know what seeing all this stupidity online made me think of? Made me think of Jonathan Majors. I remember a big part of what Twitter was saying is just, well, this is what happens when you date a white girl. And then also, they're trying to tear black men down. And I'm not just talking about Twitter, because you could easily, a lot of people can just say, oh, it's Twitter, people just say the dumbest shit on there. Fair, but it was also happening just off there in spaces where you wouldn't expect. It's like, I'm part of a UK black cosplay group, and the discourse in there was discoursing about Jonathan. People have moved in like 2 weeks ago, and they're so fucking noisy. They're beefing, they are stomping about, they are moving furniture every 5 minutes, they're moving furniture at 11 o'clock. I hope you can't hear it, but the Lord can. Yeah, so I remember when I was in this group, there was a discourse where a few men were like, oh, it's a conspiracy against him. They're trying to ruin his career. Now, thankfully, there were men in there with an adequate amount of brain cells who were just like, no, he's facing justice for the actions he's committed. But my point is that complete lack of compassion for women is abundant. Now, like I was saying, I remember the main sentiment that came from this was a lot of people like, this wouldn't have happened if he dated a black woman. And this means what exactly? Because it's assuming that he's the same man, which is obvious, then it just means that he wouldn't have got in trouble for the abuse that he still would have committed. A, there's a big expectation on black women to hold a nigga down. And B, people at large would have just not listened as much or cared as much because it's a black woman. It's scary and it's messed up. And in real time it's showing a lot of men's sentiments towards women and of course homosexuality. Because a lot of you are acting like the crime is that he likes men. What is this, 1900s? I'm like, baby, he's left a legacy of harming women, traumatizing them and threatening them. He even said to someone, oh, don't test me because I will even kill my mum if she gets in the way of what I want. And you're only focusing on him being a fruit. Rubbish. And there's always been such a fixation by a lot of cis heterosexual men on queer men's sexuality. Like, there's always been for a while. Most of the questioning about the intimacies of my sexuality has come all from straight people, majority men. And I've often asked back, like, why are you asking? Does it turn you on? Because frankly, like, I won't be asking other people that unless it's someone I'm getting to know or date. Like, why are you trying to ask me all this stuff that I've done? Are you in the closet? Yeah, specifically when I'm talking about like the black community's reaction to this, because that's the side of Twitter I'm on. there's so much emphasis on Diddy's sexuality as the crime and the only crime. And they're saying his undoing, like him getting raided, him being on the run, him potentially losing everything, is because he likes men and he sleeps with men. And he deserves what he's going through and whatever punishment will befall him just because he likes to sleep with men. But not only that, you're kind of saying it's fine what he's done to women, because frankly, the only people I've seen condemning it are women and queer men. And this is after a lengthy scroll through Twitter. Like, I spent a lot of time on it to see who was saying what for this video. It was not fun. I don't like reading these takes, but commitment is commitment. I didn't see one straight man like condemn what he'd done or just talk about that or spend just any amount of time deeping just how much harm he has done to women collectively through all of his actions and how much his power and status let him get away with all of that harm. Dare I ask, would this have blown up so much, especially amongst men, if this was another lawsuit coming from a woman instead of a man? Because I did not see this much furor when Cassie was pressing charges last year. I saw a tweet a while back by a woman, a black woman, and it said something along the lines of, Twitter really shows you in real time how evil some people are, and especially men, because they'll be saying whatever they're thinking out loud for the internet to see. And I really get that, because before social media, like, people often would seemingly keep these worst thoughts for people who they kind of knew agreed with them, so it'd be their friends or family members or whatever, but that was kind of it. And it just kind of happened. But with online, people just put stuff on Twitter where it's just their thought bank and these things can blow up and anyone can see them. And it really shows you what's going through a lot of men's heads, and it is worrying. And, you know, without going off on a tangent, this is just a part of like the culture of men's attitude towards women and victim blaming or just ignoring the abuse they're having, and also getting defensive when women want to collectively call out men's behavior in the society that allows men to get away with this stuff more. But yeah, going off the tweet, I saw things play out in real time when Megan Thee Stallion shared what she suffered at the hands of Tory Lanez. When she first said it, it was straight up denial.
No, it didn't happen. She's lying. Such bullshit.
Then when she came with receipts, the x-ray of her foot, it was gaslighting.
Oh, she probably deserved it. What did you do first? That's not the whole story.
Shit, man, what whole story would warrant her getting a shot in the foot anyway, short of her trying to shoot this guy first? And even amongst that, at the trial, people were actively trying to just take away from the fact that he actually just went and shot her.
He gives to charity, so he's a good person, really. He suffered childhood trauma, so let him off. This isn't really him.
And I honestly think if it wasn't for Diddy being queer, that a lot more of this narrative would be in the mainstream with him. I think there would definitely be a lot more people actively trying to take the blame away from Diddy and putting it in the hands of other people, like women, the victims, or other forces, you know, for why he acted so heinously. And I say with my chest, in doing that, in taking away the blame, you are really showing your lack of empathy for the victim or victims, really, because you don't believe that the perpetrator deserves accountability, because you're minimizing the action and the harm, and you don't care. You really just spreading the blame is just another way of being like, oh, but this is a reason not to care because you did it and you deserve it. But anyways, wrapping this up, I really do hope that Diddy faces the accountability and punishment he deserves. And the several people he's harmed, men, women, and children, can begin healing if they haven't already. I hope they get the best therapists there are, their lives flourish, they win the lottery, and they're surrounded by love and support. And also shielded from the mess of dumb people saying stupid stuff about this online. Because it's hard enough to heal it in private, let alone when people are talking about stuff that has happened to you online and gaslighting. And I hope that people around him who tolerated the behaviour also face accountability. All the people who turned a blind eye when he harmed people, all the people who brought in people to harm, all the people who helped him pour liquor down young women's throats and drug people. But obviously we will see. Keep a close eye on it, and also just hopefully keep the momentum going for this stuff anyway, because the reality is with cases like this, how it goes could influence other people who haven't come forward about this or other things to decide whether they will. And with something as big as this, with this much against him and seemingly this much evidence, if it doesn't go well, then frankly I am worried for the future of a lot of people who want to speak out, because they're going to be like, well, if there's this much evidence and he got off, then what hope is there? Yeah, we'll see. Thank you so much for watching this video. It's definitely not been an easy one to do because it's talking about a harmful topic. Like, I just do want to say an addendum. Like, if you have been harmed, like if you're a man, a woman, non-binary person, any, and you've faced anything similar to this, like, number one, your feelings are valid and you deserve to be believed. The world has a long way to go when it comes to believing victims of sexual assault and harassment, and it's two completely different worlds with men and women in terms of like how they choose to believe them or what they choose to say, how they choose to invalidate them. So I hope that if you are someone watching this who's gone through anything similar, I just hope you have a space where you are believed and you can get the help you need, and the person you did get struck by lightning. Thanks so much for watching. This was just a little quick one that took me forever to do, but also I have a Ko-Fi now. I know I'm really early and I have like no subscribers, but I just thought, why not? Just in case any of you watch this or any of my other content and you're liking what I do and you would like to support me and you can afford to support me, please just, the Ko-Fi will be in the description if you want to just buy me a coffee. I don't drink coffee. I don't know why you need to do that. There's probably just going to go to my plants or something, like anything else, but obviously no pressure. But if you would like to, yeah, I would really appreciate it. If not, obviously it's fine. I just appreciate the support anyways, the watches, the views, comment, like, subscribe, so the algorithm will chuck my stuff at you more and come and have a fun time where we chat about stuff. But yeah, I hope you have a lovely rest of your week, and I will be back on here chatting shit about something else soon. Bye.